Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Parlay Revival. But if you've only just joined us, we're on a passage from Tonga down to New Zealand, but we found ourselves running from Cyclone Mel. It was a couple of days of intense sailing, but the cyclone eventually turned to the east, leaving us with the opposite problem, not enough wind. But we made sure to make the most of our final couple hundred miles at sea. So I'm Colin, and this is the crew of Parlay Revival. From hurricane damaged, to broken bulkheads, from getting struck by lightning not once but twice, to being the strongest and fastest Lagoon 450 on the planet. We are now sailing 5,000 miles from Mexico to New Zealand, my home, before continuing our circumnavigation. So subscribe to follow our journey around this beautiful planet. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for? Look at this fin. This massive fin in the water here.
Oh, wow.
Look at this thing. So we saw this huge fin come out of the water, and then we saw this, it swam past and we saw this grey patch. It really did look like a great white. But I got the drone over it and it's a beautiful sunfish. The thing is huge. It looks so sharky. He's kicking hard now.
Okay, so we wanted to do something a little competitive and fun, and there's really not much we can do on this boat. So we're doing a scavenger hunt!
I know where it is.
One thing about sailing around the world is that sometimes you have to create your own fun when things are a little slow. We had had a few days of pretty extreme sailing, but now we were completely becalmed and had been motoring for the last 24 hours. So the girls came up with a fun way to pass the time and put us in pairs with a bunch of clues to try find the treasure. And I'm actually a little surprised the boys got into it so much.
This will be good. The boys are ripping apart the galley now.
And all the shoes.
It's too obvious.
Alright, so the next one. Hey! Yeah.
Oh,
Killing it!
underneath.
Yes, yes!
Elliot and Wally won.
Yeah!
Okay, that was actually really fun. So in the spirit of playing games, we're going to do murder mystery again. You guys remember we did that across the Pacific. We've got 8 locations. I wrote down all the locations. And we're going to have 8 murder weapons. So we have to try murder each other with the weapon selected in the location. And if you get that person, you get their weapon and person until there's one winner. Let's go. I hope that vaguely makes sense. But basically, it was every man for himself from now on, and no one was to be trusted.
He's dead!
Some of us were a lot more sneaky than the others.
Tony tried to get me. Now I know who's after me.
Tony just tried to give him Tony just put the screwdriver in his pocket while he was standing in the salon.
And we had just made a rule that you have to hold it, and you can't throw it at the person. So everyone's on edge. Like, someone was like, "Pass me the chips," and they're like, "Nah, I'm not grabbing that. Not grabbing that." So everyone's desperate to catch a fish. So I'm gonna do the old wind everyone up trick with the reel.
Getting a bit bored.
No one.
Alright, we've just turned the engine off and we've parked up in the middle of the South Pacific again. We're about to go live for our patrons. So we're gonna fire up the barbecue, put some chicken and jacket potatoes and whatnot. Maybe do some more foiling, but man, this is unreal. Just stopping like this in the middle of absolute nowhere. It just feels so surreal to be. It feels like we're in a bay somewhere. And we're about 180 miles off the coast of New Zealand still. So fortunately, we haven't been sailing for the last 24 hours. Oh, that's the other reason. I'm resting this engine. It's been running for 24 hours now. And as you guys know, we don't have the other engine working, so I want to just give this one a little break for an hour or two and get back on our merry way. 180 miles, New Zealand. Slowly but surely, this is happening. Can't believe it. Cannot believe it. What's happening, everybody? Liz is already in the house. You.
We're all happy.
We're cooking some chicken. We haven't caught a decent fish to eat yet. Hopefully this afternoon or anytime really.
Elliot, did you learn anything from your last go?
Yeah, let go. Let go. Yeah,
Redemption jump.
it was way better this time, eh?
Yeah.
The rope's like set way better.
Yeah.
So well, I probably just know how to do it now.
This has been fun, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you, everybody.
Wait.
What are you doing? I got my phone in my pocket.
You better take it out then. I'm the captain now.
Come on, tuna. We haven't had a freaking good tuna for a while.
yeah.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
So it was nice to be catching some fish again, and the goal was to fill our freezer while we were still out in the blue water. We didn't have a lot of wind, so we were sailing quite slowly, and a lot of fishermen will tell you that it's impossible to catch a fish at these slow speeds.
Now everyone says you gotta be doing 6, 7, 8 knots. We're doing 3 knots and we just hooked up. That's how we roll.
See what it is.
Down on the bottom of the well, seagrass was all I found. I know alternative hell, no more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land.
Well, it's been a long trip trying to get Wally with a fork above the port side engine room.
It's bullshit. That's what happens when I try to do the dishes. So no more. I'm not going to do any more dishes.
So take your time in the game.
What is this? Wait, come here.
I'm afraid you're trying to murder me right now. I'm getting total murder vibes. This is a setup.
This is too hard. I've been waiting for us to catch a fish so that I could get you in my spot. This is too hard. It's too hard.
Under 100 miles left. We just realised we've got a lot of food that we haven't eaten. So yeah, if we don't eat it, they're going to probably take it off us at customs. So
Let's get an update from our pro in-house fisherman, Davey Vandenbold. What the hell is that?
Holy shit. I haven't checked the rods for ages and look what's happened. Fisherman's nightmare right here.
Wow, it's the first boat we've seen since we left Minerva, really, apart from our buddy boat. Nearly there. So we've just got the head sail out. We're going super slow so that we come in good light tomorrow morning.
Yes, the feeling's starting to come surreal. But the wind is going to pick up this afternoon and it's going to bring us into New Zealand quite quick. But yeah, we're sending her home.
Wow, under 100 now, and yeah, getting sentimental writing in the Parlay memory book and looking back some of the other adventures that people have had on this boat, and yeah, feeling very at home, not quite sure if I want to leave the boat. It's going to be a strange transition again, but yeah, it's a lot of nice memories and going to share some now.
We were literally less than 1 day away from sailing into New Zealand waters. I think this trip meant something different for each and every one of us. In any case, sailing into New Zealand from anywhere is a huge accomplishment. But it meant something deeper than that for me. I went to Mount Albert Grammar School in Auckland, and the motto that got drummed into us every day was, through hardship to glory. With all of the setbacks we've had in the last 6 years, I think that pretty much sums up how I feel about our journey so far.
Somewhere deep inside, something's got a hold on you. It's pushing me aside, to stretch on forever. You know I'm right for the first time in my life. That's why I tell you,
better be home soon. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was what this means to me to have these guys here. So just to sort of introduce them a little bit more, Tony, he's one of my oldest friends. We went to primary school together. We got up to all sorts of mischief. We grew up in West Auckland and yeah, we were just thick as thieves. Elliot, he was one of my best mates at school. I met him when I was about 15 and he's been through a lot in the last few years and hasn't actually been a big part of my life recently. But you know, he's making some changes in his life, and to have him here and to be sharing this experience with him is very rewarding. And then Wally, he's a great friend from my university days. That's even different to the Tony group of friends, it's different to the Elliot group of friends, it's my university group of friends. And yeah, to have him here, we played rugby together. It was a big transition in my life to go from high school to through university and think about a career, and he was there for all of that. And then Chris, he, you know, I grew up next door to him. He knows things about me that nobody knows, and vice versa. And again, we haven't been a huge part of each other's lives. I left New Zealand when I was 22 years old, and I didn't really look back. I just went and I started working on super yachts, and then all of that happened, and then I bought Parlay. I hadn't been home in 6 years until last year. Just so focused on my own goals and my own endeavors that yeah, it's quite surreal for me to be bringing all of this that we've created with Parlay and Parlay Revival back home. I hope you can feel it. I hope you can appreciate that this is a huge moment for us, and can't wait to get to New Zealand. We're so close. It's been 6 years in the making, and yeah, like I said, it's just really special for me to have these guys here with me. Let's go. We're nearly there. I know I'm right for the first time in my life. That's why I tell you, you better be home soon. That's why I tell you, you better be home soon.
Hello. Howdy, boy. Yeah. You.
We did it.
Oh.
We didn't even have a near miss.
Just shut up until we get there. New Zealand Maritime Radio, New Zealand Maritime Radio, New Zealand Maritime Radio. This is Parlay. Do you copy?
Parlay, good morning, Sunray Maritime Radio.
We are about an hour and a half away from Opua Marina, coming to clear in from Tonga.
I burned out like a wandering ember. I shone bright, then my journey was over. What I sought when I ran was back where I began. No matter the rain, no matter the storm, I'm coming home.
This moment, right here, of us sailing into New Zealand waters will stick with me for the rest of my life. As a kid, I used to hear stories of people sailing into New Zealand from the Pacific Islands or Australia, and I remember just being absolutely mind-boggled by what that would actually feel like. I've also seen horrifying videos of what the weather can be like on the passage that we just completed, and to have had the conditions that we had was pretty incredible, despite having a cyclone above us for the first few days.
Yeah, pretty special to be back home and looking forward to sharing our beautiful country with everyone else.
It's just a lovely sight seeing home, but also just sort of realising how far we've travelled, you know, over the last 11 or so days.
Just nice to be able to experience it with Colin. I know how much it means to him to finally bring his boat home, so just to be here with him is special.
Typical New Zealand weather, grey and overcast.
Typical New Zealand day happening right now. Cold and overcast, chance of rain. But yeah, we've woken up. It's a bit misty, a bit moist. Probably the coldest place we've come into, but what we can see so far, it's incredible.
But it's nice, it's familiar. You know, after spending days at sea, it's nice to sort of wake up and see sort of points on land that you've seen before. And Jamie was just saying before, he said, oh, we did nothing go wrong. And I was like, careful, we're not quite at the dock yet. We still have to dock the boat with one engine. But yeah, no, it's nice to be back.
The feeling is surreal right now. It's unreal to be here. It hasn't sunk. It feels like I'm dreaming or something.
I'm so happy to share this moment with Colin and his friends, and to bring the boat to their home means a lot to him. So yeah, special moment indeed.
Can't believe we're finally here.
There we go. It says you're allowed to bring in fish, and that's what they told us in Tonga when we were there. But these guys, doesn't look like they're allowed. Nice big lobster tail from Minerva Reef. This was a lot of work to get these bad boys. So I don't want to risk them taking it off us before we can enjoy them. So lobster for breakfast. With what?
Sausages.
Lobster and sausages. We have to eat the sausages.
The old surf and turf.
You're dead!
So with Katie gone, the murder mystery was down to Chris, Britt and myself, but we were slowly running out of time.
Got her good! Easy! Plunger up on the flybridge.
We sailed past Russell, which used to actually be the capital of New Zealand. There is so much history in the area, and Russell used to be known as Kororareka, which served as a resupply port for the huge whaling and sealing operations in the 1800s. The Treaty of Waitangi was also signed across the bay in 1840, and here we were sailing into the same Bay of Islands almost 200 years later. It was a very proud moment for all of us.
New Zealand!
Yeah, baby. Did I win?
What happened?
No! I just killed him. I needed to get him with this torch on the tramp.
You're the last one man standing. I killed Brett.
Yeah.
So the murder mystery was over just minutes before we arrived at Opua, where we were going to finally clear into New Zealand.
Nervous, I gotta go into this little gap here, turn around.
So I only had one engine because of the injector pump failure that I'd had at Minerva Reef, which makes it extremely hard to maneuver a catamaran. With only the starboard engine working, I was only really able to turn to the port side unless I had my speed up already. Customs had asked us to come all the way up the inside of the quarantine dock, which I wasn't too excited about.
We're on! We're on! We made it to New Zealand!
We did it!
After a short wait, Customs and Immigration both came to the boat to clear us in. The process was quick, with MPI only confiscating a block of cheese that we hadn't finished, and some mayonnaise as it contained eggs.
Done. That's the Customs and Immigration side done. No stamps or anything, it's all electronic now. Yeah, got a temporary import permit, even though I'm a New Zealander. They're not making me pay tax because we're leaving, which is good news. There was a little question mark over that, but sorted.
It was exciting to have some friends in the area.
Oh, g'day, mate. Fancy seeing you guys here.
Hi!
But not as exciting as it was to have my parents take a flight from Great Barrier Island and then drive 3.5 hours up north to welcome us home.
Welcome home. Oh, that's good. Big relief for you, eh?
What a trip, man.
They have welcomed me home at the airport plenty of times before, but this was something completely different. Something that I'd been imagining for 6 long years.
Thank you.
How are you, Grant?
Good, mate. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, good.
So we've only just cleared in and we've made some friends. They've taken us down to the local liquor store. We haven't had a beer since we left Tonga. So
First things first.
stinging for a cold Heineken.
Is this like the Marmite of drinks? Oh yeah.
So as you can imagine, the celebrations went long into the night, and the crew were looking a little worse for wear in the morning. A couple of the crew had to go back to their normal lives.
Jamie, get a coffee in you. You'll be right back.
Thanks so much.
No worries.
But we were pretty much on the move again immediately to try get our engine sorted before our big homecoming celebration in Auckland.
Morning guys, so as you know we've only got one engine. So Opua was too busy to fix it. I have to send the actual injector pump away. It's not something I can do. I don't have the internal parts of the injector pump. So yesterday we shot down to Whangarei. We're coming in the channel now. It's 12 miles all the way up to a place called Port Nikau, which is where we're going to stay for a couple of days. And we want to have 2 engines for our homecoming in Auckland. So good to be home. Look at this, is just classic New Zealand scenery right here.
Elliot at the helm.
Happy as pig in.
Back in his element. Tight like a tiger.
You can barely swing a cat in here.
Colin, good to meet you, bro.
So this is Blair, the manager of Port Nikau in Whangarei. He gave us a warm welcome as he had followed our journey for some time. And also to welcome us home was one of my dad's best friends called Ian.
How you been anyway? Oh, cool. Actually made it on board, bro. Can you believe it? Crew, tēnā koutou. It is awesome to be here. I would just like to congratulate you on what you have achieved and done. It is remarkable, man. So, without further ado, hey, this is an old haka. This is an old haka my grandfather composed. And it just goes like this. Tainga! Oh, tainga! Oh, tainga mai! Nā iwi o ta mo ta kirunga! Pangalo! Tonya! Kunuku! Karangi! Ka paia tonga iwi! Ka paia tonga waka! Owe! 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 Ha! Owe! 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 Ha! Hey! First time I've done it on a waka, bro, because it was supposed to be done on a waka. There's no goodbye in Māoridom, it's ka kite anō until we meet again.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Thank you, Ian. Well, that was Ian. Ian's been friends with my dad probably for 50 years. And has been a big part of our family. It's like an uncle to me. And for him to do a haka like that in a waiata was an absolute honor. It's hard to describe the feeling you get when you're experiencing that, and there's so much passion involved when he does it. So very moving, had me in tears. I mean, in terms of a welcome home to New Zealand, it doesn't get much better than this. So the icing on the cake will be the one in Auckland. But yeah, what a lovely way to come home.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Join us next week as I tear the engine apart, but I'm unsure if I can repair it in time for the homecoming celebration in Auckland, which 500 people have paid to attend.